Okay, let's get started. So my name is Hemant, and I'm a product manager on PowerApps Component Framework. With me is Peter. He's the program manager on PowerApps CLI tool, and we'll be talking about PowerApps Component Framework today. Okay, agenda for today is I'll introduce PowerApps Component Framework. Right now, the capability is in preview. This allows developers to build their own custom components for PowerApps. And then we'll talk about the architecture for the framework, along with how to build a custom component. And then we'll go into the CLI tooling, which will tell you how to easily get started on the project. And then we'll spare last 5-10 minutes on Q&A. Okay. Before we start, quick show of hands, how many folks are familiar with the PowerApps, model-based PowerApps? And how many folks have actually tried PowerApps Component Framework? Not very many. Cool. So this is the right time. PowerApp Component Framework enables professional developers to build their custom UI components on the model-driven PowerApps. That's the truth today. And we are investing in making the PowerApps Component Framework available on the Canvas apps too. So we are planning to release the capability for Canvas app very soon. So once that happens, as a developer, you should be able to create a component which can be used on both type of the apps. To give a bigger picture here, on top of serious core service, we have three main products today: Power BI, PowerApps, and Microsoft Flow. This particular talk would be covering PowerApps Component Framework, which, as I said, will enable developers to build components for the PowerApps, which could be either the model-driven Power App or the Canvas Power App. Three main areas where we kind of focus, and the capabilities are provided by the component framework. It enables developer to build something which replaces out-of-box visualization of the control. Second part is extensibility. All the custom components which are developed are driven off metadata. So they are not bound to any particular scenario like they are in a case of web resources, which was the way to extend the UI in the past, but they are metadata driven. Once you build the control, you can bind it to any field, any entity, so they are independent. All the control declares is what kind of metadata it needs to bind to. And the last part, which is portability. Once you build the control can be rendered on all supported surfaces, whether it's web, desktop, mobile, or embedding, like we do Outlook app for Dynamics. And second is, all of this is solution aware. Once you build the components, they can be packaged into solution along with their dependencies and all the customizations for the control. So as a ISV or partner, you can package the components into the solution and ship it via app source. The core question which I hear a lot of people asking is, what different type of components can I add? So if you look at the surface for PowerApps, model-driven PowerApps, there are multiple UI components present as part of the core app, right? Whether they are form fields, dashboard, entity grids, subgrids, unbound controls, or the control on the business process flow. All these today on the new unified interface are built using PowerApps Component Framework. So that way, the core framework is something which we internally, Microsoft, has been using to build the controls for the entire unified interface for model-driven Power Apps, and that capability is now available to external developers too, so they can build something which is at par with what the first-party developers can do. This is out-of-box UI for current unified interface. I believe most of you have already seen it. If I add everything already, by the way, is a custom component. All the fields on the form, subgrid, the timeline control, process control, subgrid over there, it's already custom control. You can replace it and then put your own visualizations, right, for scenarios which are specific to your use cases. And I'll show some of the demo components I have built to showcase on what all is possible. To summarize, everything you can do on the web using latest web technologies, TypeScript and HTML. You can essentially bring all of that goodness into the surface of Power Apps, which gives you a canvas where you have access to the PCF APIs. And in addition to that, you have access to all the external services, And Peter, in a moment, will tell you on how CLI tooling enables a lot of those cool scenarios and stitch everything together. At the high level, if you talk about framework, it gives you a set of APIs where you as a developer writing TypeScript code have access to the core framework APIs, which give you values for the data the field is bound to, for example, or the metadata, system setting, design language, all the out-of-box properties like going into full page. And going forward, we are investing more and more into the framework APIs so that you have ready-to-use blocks which can be used to composite the UI. And also you have capabilities where you don't have to do something on your own or a custom implementation, but the framework will take care of those things. For example, you need a design styling for the model app or the Canvas app or something embedded inside Outlook. All those things are provided by framework, tested on all different surfaces so that once you build the control, it goes on mobile or desktop or phone. Everything is managed by the framework. So the layout, width, height, font, everything, all information is provided to the PCF. As a component implementer, you only need to care about those APIs. Rest of the canvas is for you to write your own code and visualization. And it necessarily decouples your component implementation from the core product we release, which is exposed through PCF APIs. That enables developers to iterate and rev on their component version independently. So you can publish a newer version of solution where you add more capabilities to component, and customer can go and install it right away without necessarily worrying about the core platform version. At the same time, it enables us to incrementally add capabilities to the platform, because only this contract needs to be satisfied. Both of the sides of whether it's a control implementation or the core PCF, both of the things can be independently revisioned, and kind of incrementally we can add more capabilities. So if you look at it today, Unified Interface is one framework which lights up the web, mobile, tablet, and desktop, which was not the case in the past. So for the folks who have seen the earlier Mocha application, it was a different product stack. So everything, not just for external developers, but also for us as engineering team, would have to be done twice. Once for Mocha, once for the web interface. With new Unified Interface built on top of PCF, it enables to write the control once, and the control renders on all the different surfaces. Definitely, as a control implementer, you need to define the behavior on how the control is going to look like on the smaller form factor and how it can be responsive. But the framework gives you all the capabilities which you will need to do to implement that responsive behavior. For example, the sizing information or the resizing information, the control going full page. Okay. For the folks who are familiar with the Canvas apps, how many folks have built Canvas apps? Quite a few. So with Canvas app, the core scenario for Canvas app is a low-code developer or a low-code maker. The scenario is anybody should be able to drag and drop components, write Excel-like expressions on top of those controls, which are primarily very influenced from the PowerPoint, right? So for those scenarios, we released a capability of components on Canvas app where the low-code makers can bring different controls on the Canvas app and bundle them together. Going forward, as we merge the framework and make this as a core serving framework for both the type of apps, so if you think about it, Canvas app and model app, end of the day, the controls are very, very similar, right? So development process or the complexity might differ, but it's a text box control or a map control or a grid control, image upload control. All of these things are fundamentally the same. Where they come from should not drive on how they are kind of put in the stack. So what we are doing now is that all the new components which are built across both model and Canvas, and you'll see that with the preview for intelligence APIs or intelligent control coming out of PowerApps product line, that they are built on the core PowerApps component framework. Once these individual components are built using the same set of language, the composition which enables the Canvas app maker to have a bundle of control or the composited scenario to use this component across different pages will be same as what PowerApps component framework provides you today using programmatic composition. So a lot of times you'll find scenarios where you need to build something, but it needs a lookup control, which is an out-of-box control in the model side. And necessarily, you don't have to make a choice to implement a lookup control, because that's something which is substantially complex. We will provide you the APIs on how to composite those controls and just bring the lookup experience in, so that the end user can go and choose the record he wants to. And then, as your own custom component implementation, you can work with that lookup. And we'll see that in example today. On top of it, everything is driven from the core PowerApps component framework. The entire stack is same. So as we merge and bring both those platforms together, this will be the one framework where first party and third party are building all the UI components, and they are solution aware, getting all the goodness from CDS, all the support from tooling. Before I go into this slide, any questions? Okay. So as we make this framework more and more mature and addressing to more scenarios, as you have seen with unified interface, we have already taken it to a level where all the enterprise applications from Dynamics, like sales, service, marketing, project service, field service, are built on top of PowerApps component framework. There surely would be scenarios which are more driven from ISV requirements. So those things we are discussing with all the different folks who are consuming the framework, open for feedback. But the core elements which we have identified and we are actively investing is that one should be able to easily build and extend the core business apps. It should be the one framework where a developer develops a component and it works both on Power and on the model-driven Power Apps and Canvas app. The core control gives you capability to be supported on multiple form factors, right? That doesn't mean that whatever component you are developing has to work on mobile. For example, I might have a complex scheduling map where I don't see as a developer scenario to put it on the mobile device, or it's like too much effort with less ROI. You can always choose your components to be available only for web. That's the first decision you make as a developer. As a customizer, when I bring in that control into my org, I get a choice to selectively configure that control to different form factors I want to. So for those who have seen the configuration for custom component, you get to choose that I am bringing this slider control and it should only show up on the mobile application. So that way, customizer has flexibility. As a developer, you get to dictate where the control lights up, and then depending upon the scenarios, all these controls can be brought together. Developer tooling is another big piece. I'll let Peter speak to it, so I'll skip that. Accessibility is also something which has been very, very important for us. Last 3 years or so, we have invested heavily in making our apps accessible so that they can be used by everyone. And with Dynamics apps, since that accessibility requirement, whether it's for US Section 508 or WCAG requirements, all of them are catered to the framework. So tab indexing, screen reader, metadata for automated assistance tool, everything is provided as part of framework. So when you develop a control, it participates into the natural flow of page accessibility flow, and you can implement those things. So for those who are selling solution for government sector or public sector, this is something which is really, really important, and all apps should kind of try to utilize those values and build accessible controls. Performance, another very key piece. So if you look at the web resource model we had in the past for building controls, web resource would load post the page was loaded, and then it will run its own code to either get data from CDS server or contact to external service. With this being part of the core framework, the data is served as part of the core page load. So it's no more async iframe loading, but it's the same HTML DOM for the form, and everything is loaded as part of the core load. So we have seen significant gains in terms of performance when you build these core components. App source support, definitely a core piece for us, for people who are selling their controls, monetization, and putting it in app source, making it more discoverable. That's also something we are actively looking into and trying to make it more and more robust today. Since all our apps are catered through app source, The solution framework already has capability of doing control embedding inside it, along with the solution layering, dependency management, and control configuration. All those things are solution aware today. As we go further into this journey, we'll make sure that all the components which are built, they can be more discoverable on the app source, and app source has more first-class support for components. And last one is enable complex and richer scenarios. So I'll cover those on demos. You might have need to use the external surveys, external JavaScript objects into your component. Framework enables all of those, and we'll see how those can be utilized. The picture on the bottom has a lot of things in there, so maybe offline viewing for that is more appropriate. But the point I wanted to make there is, from maturity standpoint, since we started the framework as custom control framework on Dynamics 365, it's in a more mature state as compared to Canvas apps, where we haven't spent a lot of time building the framework there, but something which is a top priority for us. So as we go further into this journey, the goal is to make it at par. So once you build a component, it shouldn't distinguish between the Canvas app or model apps. For example, today you have this whole Canvas app embedding enabled inside Dynamics using the component framework, so you can embed the app. But going forward, the thinking is that all these lines between Canvas and model apps fade away, and we have just one framework without necessarily developer being worried about how to get it rendered on both sides of house. Okay, I'll go into a little more detail for PowerApps component framework. As I said, it supports end-to-end lifecycle for the components, starting from authoring the control, which the tooling facilitates, to packaging into the solution, the installation of the control, which means converting the control definition, JavaScript files, resources, dependencies, images into the way it can be catered to the end user. Configuration, so depending upon your declaration of properties the control would need, the surfaces it needs to support. The customization UI is automatically able to interpret those values and show the right experience for customizer. For example, if I put a, let's say, arc knob control into the system, and as a developer I declare it to be supporting numbers, floating points, currency maybe, as a customizer, for someone who has imported this control, he shouldn't be able to see this control as one of the configurable control on text field. So all that, the right data and metadata binding is part of the core framework itself. And the client rendering, the last part, where the PCF runtime comes into picture, it gives the right context to the control. So if I say I replace the revenue field on opportunity with a slider control, so user can just slide the value instead of typing, maybe a better scenario for mobile applications. All those scenarios are part of client rendering. So in the control, you'll get what's the current value for this revenue, what's the data type tied to it, what's the currency symbol, formatting for the user, right? So Dynamics is a very, very flexible system, right? So I can go in as user with any locale and say, my numbers are with commas and dot in German, and they are different from what we use. And as a core system, we provide those capabilities to the control developer. So once your control is developed, you have access to build something which will work across languages, across locales, across customizations, user settings, and all these values are exposed to the control, including localization. And the way to testify that is because the entire app for unified interface is sitting on top of it. All those capabilities have to be the part of the framework. What value do you get from component framework? I think the beauty for it is, since it's a very pro dev scenarios, we don't have any specific language which we kind of recommend or ask people to learn. Your current skill set with JavaScript, TypeScript, which is a preferred way to build the components, along with external libraries like React or Vue, all that can be utilized as long as it renders in browser. You can bring that thing as a custom component inside the app. What makes a custom component? So in order to build a control, what would you need? The first part is manifest file. Nothing but a simple XML file which tells about the control. Name of the control, namespace of the control, because I don't want my controls to be colliding with other controls in the system. Version of the control, very important point, because I need to rev up the versions, right? Version 3 has additional capabilities of using the camera and things like that. That's there. Properties. What values control expect? So let's say if I build a slider control, one of my property would be what's that number I need to bind to, right? So there is a property of type integer if I'm supporting integer. That's one of the property. Controls can take multiple input properties. That's something which wasn't possible in the past. You can build a bullet graph control, which will show your current revenue value as a point in that linear slider. And also you can bind another field which says what's my target revenue. So using two fields bound to one custom control, you can see what's my current value and what's my target. So it gives you a way to mesh up the data and show it in a way where it makes more sense for user. And the power you get with it is all the validations which are there in the client layer today. For example, the value of number needs to be a number. It cannot be alphanumeric or something like that. There is a min value, max value. All those validations are automatically provided to all the custom components. So if I replace my revenue with a slider and take revenue to something which potentially the system doesn't allow, you'll get all the error handling notifications through the framework. The second part is client APIs, PBL. If you have a logic that, for example, say my revenue goes more than 50,000, my manager needs to approve. And there is a approval field which gets fired based upon this value, or something else puts the value into this field. All that logic is provided by framework. As a control implementer, you are just replacing the UI for the control, but everything else which is there in the system remains as is. The second part is control implementation. That's the fun part where you get a chance to write the control, build and do whatever visualization you want. Typically, you'll get a space in the page, or if you are, for example, say field control on the form, you'll get a space for field control. We choose the width for you because it has to align with the core form. You choose the height. For example, if it's an arc knob, probably you need more height than what a text field would have required, right? So you get that page, that div element, and we'll see that in next slide. And you implement your logic there. At times, you would need to go full page, right? Because let's say I want to build a map, and I want the map capability to give user to go full page. The framework has APIs for capabilities like that. And with a single line of code, you can say, this button click or this expand button click should take me to the full page. And the framework takes care of what that full page means on the browser, different screen resolutions, Android, iOS, wherever the app is supported. Everything is scattered by us. So in that sense, you don't have to test it on numerous devices and everything, because you rely on the core framework to provide that capability. The last one is resource file, which means control, a lot of time would need external stuff to make it more beautiful. Images, localization files. Libraries was one of the bullet point there. I removed it. We are evaluating on what's the best way to have these external libraries supported with the controls, because if you look at the entire system, it becomes a very complex mashup of different things coming in together. So you might publish a control with jQuery 3, I might do with jQuery 4, and somebody else might come in. All these libraries, since they're part of the core rendering of the page and not iframe experience, they need to collaborate, right? And they'll collide. So we are making a lot of investment in making sure that the model we are proposing, one, enables you to bring in the library of your choice, and at the same time doesn't takes the system into an unstable state, which is not a good situation for any of us. So today, with preview, which we released 3 weeks ago, the tooling enables the bundling of libraries, so you are isolated. And going forward, we'll expose the different patterns of how these libraries can be coordinated across different components. Okay, this slide has a pseudocode. It's not the actual signature because that looked like really bad. It was a very long one. 4 code methods. If you have these 4, your control can light up right away. And then Peter will tell you how to get that done very, very quickly with a single line of code. First method is init. As in any framework, it initializes the control. First parameter you get in there is the context, which means all the framework APIs, data, which is bound to control. So if you have added it to a revenue field, you will see the revenue value in there. The second one is notify output change. It's a callback method if for talking to the core layer. If there is any change in value, how do you signal it back versus how do you get these values? The third one is state. At times, you would want to remember something in the control, even after the user navigates away. You can keep that in state object. For example, if I have a grid control where I give users capability to decrease or increase the width of a column, potentially I want that customization to be remembered across sessions, right? So those are the things you can put it in there. The second good use case which we saw when we see people developing controls is that for performance optimization, if I make a call to some remote service and get some stuff, and that value is relatively static, probably I can just store it in the state object. So next time when the user comes to that control, the value is served right in the initialization method. So that really boosts up the performance. And you can have models make a sync call and see if the value is changed and accordingly adjust the control, but a very useful parameter. The last one is container. Simplest of all, div element you get for your control to implement. If you are replacing the grid, it's the whole home page. That's the whole div you get. If it's a subgrid, the subgrid div. If it's the form field, then the form field div. The process control team also exposed configuration of custom components to business process flow. So that's also interesting scenarios. If you have different steps, you can configure your own custom component in there. Destroy method, when the control is destroyed, all the connections, event handlers, everything go in there. Get output, it's with notify output change. When there is a change in the value, that's the method which is called. From the component lifecycle flow, this one kind of summarizes on how changes are managed. When the control is initialized first, that's the call which goes after start to init. And the framework component uses the different methods like notify, get output change. Most of these methods are very templatized. So if you build one control, you will know what I need to do to tell the framework value back. And if somebody else changes that value, what I need to listen to. So if you implement one control, you will know what these things are. And then every next time you are building the controls, those things stay as is. And as I said, the bottom two part cover, if the value is correct, sure, that value is given back to the control. But if that value is somehow rejected, for example, if I say my name on the text, on the number field, the error message which the framework provides as part of the core unified interface stack is shown to the user. Come on, time check. I'll show some quick demo. Can we switch to 5, please? 5 or 6. OK, so this one shows how different capabilities can be brought in. I've tried different services from Microsoft. We are a service built on top of Azure, so that's what I have picked for my demos. Azure Cognitive Services. It gives you APIs, very straightforward to use for different scenarios like vision, handwriting to text, image to text, entity description, voice to text. All those services are REST-based services which can be implemented as a custom component. You go and make that call to that service, and the value comes back in. You put it inside Dynamics. I'll show you a demo of that one. The second one I picked up 2 days ago, which was super cool, and I loved it. Azure Map. This is a public page. You have tons of samples from Azure on how Azure Map JavaScript object can be used to build interesting scenarios and putting your own custom HTML, doing some sort of graphs on top of map or showing the heat maps. All these controls have their source code published here. So what you can do is pick this source code, put it in the HTML file, get the trial key from Azure. They work as a standalone HTML page. Now the step 2 is to put that HTML page into the custom component, and which is something which, few hours and then up and running. So as I said, I started on this 2 days ago, and everything looks great. The part I want to cover here is, this is one control. So there are different scenarios for control. One is to show the UI, which a lot of people perceive as the value which the component framework is providing. there is another big use case is to use the service. So the first one where it says typing for search is the custom control where I want to take the address from user. So as you saw, as I started typing, it goes, talks to Azure mapping service, suggests all the possible addresses. I'll select one of those. What I've done is, in this custom control, because I know the Azure service, it will return me address, city, country, state, and zip code. I'll put that as output properties or the properties of a control and let people drop this control on any entity they want. They configure it during configuration on how do I consume these values. Framework takes care of populating those back. The second part is the maps. These are all the maps which are coming into the dynamics. I want to quickly cover one more. So if you say add a contact, scan business card is another custom component which is built on top of PowerApps AI services. You take the business card, send it to AI service, it gives you all the values back. As you can see, everything is filled in. I don't have to necessarily type stuff. And you can say save and close. I'll just cancel it. The last part is the core data set. I have replaced the entire data set in the leads homepage grid with my own custom components. This is Azure Map Object. Tons and tons of interesting capabilities present there. As I said, I just started on it like 2-3 days ago, and I didn't know anything about it. But because you can see the sample, it's just mostly the copy-paste work and some CSS styling, nothing very fancy about it. But everything on this page, if you look, I've added the event handlers for these individual maps, which are showing me leads. It shows the data from CDS. So it gives me the lead's name, along with the description I want to type to. It gives me the current location, which is, again, an API which we provide as part of the framework. And also, I can utilize out-of-box capabilities like searching on the grid. So for example, if I say David, the filtering on the grid is done. I just see one record, right? So as a control implementer, you don't necessarily need to think about the view selector on the top or the search on the right. Everything is part of the framework. All you need to know is, I develop a grid component, I need a data set. All the filtering API, contextual command, so I could implement, once my mouse is over that record, change that command on the top to be that specific to that particular record. Or I can say, bring those commands down, and I'll show them inline inside my map. In addition to that, you also get these mapping controls, which have been added programmatically. So you can change the layout of the map, or zoom it, or change different perspective for the map. So all of a sudden, now you are in a position where you are writing JavaScript or TypeScript code, and you have access to CDS. Also, you have access to the Azure mapping APIs. From implementation standpoint, as I said, control manifest for this map control is the core file, which has the implementation of control. It says, I take name, description, longitude, and latitude as values because I want to show name and description on the pin, and longitude, latitude to populate that value onto the map. And the interesting piece here is that you can stitch a lot of services together. As you enter data in my address control and you get address back, it gives you longitude and latitude too. You can use that value to populate your records so that everything has these longitude and latitude values so that they can be plotted on map. The last one, and to talk about resources, it uses Azure maps.css. Again, something in the sample, copy-pasted. I'll be honest. So that's the CSS file which puts the styling for the map. Again, no big deal. And this one is the implementation of map. Peter, in a moment, will tell you how to get the stub created. So that part looks a little complex and confusing, I would say. But I'll give it to Peter to explain on how you can get quickly started with it. Any questions before we hand it over, or we can take the questions in the end too? Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Hemant. Wonderful overview of the framework. Can you guys hear me? Fantastic. Okay, so as Hemant mentioned, along with the PowerApps component framework, we're also releasing a new tool that is going to get you started really fast, developing amazing custom visualizations just like the ones you saw on the screen here. So let's jump into, oh, can you switch my input, please? To number 5. There it is. Okay, so let's jump quickly into the agenda. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what the Microsoft PowerApps CLI is, what it offers you as a developer. From there, we'll talk about what IDEs it supports. From there, we'll talk about building, debugging, finally packaging your custom component into a server-understood solution. And finally, I'll show you a demo of the actual tool. So let's get going. OK, so what is the Microsoft PowerApps CLI? As the name probably gave it away, it is a simple-to-use command line interface, which is designed to introduce efficiencies for you as a developer. It provides you templates out of the box, mainly field and data set controls. So when you first start up a CLI, you give it a single command, and it populates everything you need to get started with a custom component. It also provides you built-in validations, so you have less chances to make an error. It has helpful help menus that guide you through the whole process, which means that if you know nothing about the framework or the tool, you can get going pretty quick. It can be used headlessly. What does that mean? If you have any existing automations or you want to automate something like your build process, you can use the CLI for that. And one important thing to note is that the CLI is going to be our single tool going forward, along with a Visual Studio extension that I may or may not show you at the very end if we have time, a sneak peek of. You'll be the first folks to see it. And it will be the foundation for all future tooling capabilities. So as we introduce other customization types into the tooling, something like plugins or web resources for folks that raised their hand earlier, if you're familiar with the platform, you'll know what that is. So how do you get started? That's the main question. There are only two things you need to do as a developer. Now, this is my favorite slide because it really illustrates the simplicity of the tool. There are really two steps, denoted by the blue rectangles on the screen. Those show you the only interactions required for you to get started. The first is a simple command in the CLI that actually puts everything down for you, the whole project structure. The second is bringing down dependencies from NPM. Now, from NPM, we pull down a couple of modules. First is your build and validation scripts. The second is your local control harness, which I will show you later. And on the right-hand side, you'll see there the quick overview of the project. OK, IDE support. So what IDEs can you use once you've created a CLI project using the CLI? The simple answer is you can use any IDE of your choice. You can even use Notepad if you so choose. But of course, we recommend that you use either Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio. And there are two reasons for that. These tools are well understood, well supported, which means that if you do ever run into any issues, somebody at Microsoft can always help you. OK, building a control. What do you need to do to build a control? Again, not very much. Single command to NPM, build my project, and everything gets done for you using a predefined build process. Now, the CLI will also grab your TypeScript file, as Hemant mentioned earlier, and it will bundle it along with any dependencies you may have defined in there. It will also grab files like CSS or XML, and it'll put it into an output directory of your choice. Now, that output directory, right now, you may not know what I'm talking about, but once I show you the packaging part of the process in the demo, you'll see how that's relevant. OK, testing and debugging in control. This is where it gets really exciting. Where in the past, you'd probably expect taking a custom component, having to upload it to server, and only then you can test it. With the PowerApps CLI, we're giving you a local harness, so you can actually visualize your control, test it. You can, yes, I see a hurrah. You can use the native debug capabilities of the browser to debug it, just like you would any other web app. Of course, you can inspect your control layout, and you can do all that from your dev machine before going to server. And finally, once you've built your control to your satisfaction, you're going to want to package it. This is, again, if you recall Hemant mentioning, there's a format that the system expects, and that is a solution zip file. We introduced a new project type called the CDS solution project, which will take the output in your PCF project, and it will package it up, again, with minimal effort from you, because it knows exactly what to do, and generate a solution zip file for you. If you're familiar with the platform, again, you can also specify things like managed solution, unmanaged solution, or you can even say both. And one other noteworthy thing to mention is that this type of project in the future will support other customization types like plugins, web resources, those types of things. OK, so this is where, in a room full of developers, I should hear clapping because we're done with the slideware. OK. So let's switch to number 7. OK. So this is the Microsoft PowerApps CLI. And through this demo, I'm going to pretend like I'm a brand new developer that doesn't know anything about the tool. So here we will see the fantastic help menu available. We will tell our CLI that we would like to create a PCF project. And once again, it tells us that, hey, look, you need to initialize a new project. So we will do that. OK, and if you recall Hemant mentioning, the platform requires several inputs. And the CLI tells you that. You need to obviously name your custom component. You need to define what namespace you're working in. And of course, you need to tell it what kind of template you're going to use, whether it's going to be a field or data set control. So we will do that. We will name it demo. Namespace is going to be demo space. And finally, template is going to be field. And there you go. That is all it takes to create a new custom component. And the system is now telling you that your next step is to pull down your dependencies. So we're going to do that. But first, let's pop open our project using VS Code. And now, while that's opening up, we're going to go and do an npm install and let it run in the background. Usually takes about 10 to 20 seconds, but I'm not sure what the network conditions are here. So if you recall, Hemant mentioning something called a control manifest. Oops. This is where you define the properties, which later will be interpreted by the control as an input. This is also where you define your CSS as a resource. Moving on, index.ts, which is your TypeScript file, where you're going to be actually building your custom component. This is where all your custom logic resides. And it looks like while I was talking, the NPM modules have been successfully pulled down. From there, git ignore. This lets you exclude certain files from your source code repository. From there, we have an optional MS Build configuration file. So if you do choose to do so, you can build this project using MS Build. Finally, we have a configuration file where you get to configure your output directory, as I mentioned before. And lastly, we have a configuration file for TypeScript, which basically tells TypeScript how to compile your project. So now, at this point in the demo, let's go ahead and build our empty custom component, just so you could see what happens with the output directory. And we can do that by either pressing Control-Shift-B and selecting the necessary options within VS Code, or we can switch and do the same thing within our command prompt. Both of these will accomplish the same goal. And now you see that the control has been built, and there's a new folder within our project, which is the output folder. And as I promised you before, using Webpack, we took the contents of your TypeScript, as well as any dependencies you may have defined here with, for example, like this import statement, and we bundled it into a JavaScript file and included a control manifest. So this is important because once you're done building and debugging your control, your next step is to package it, and this is the folder where it's going to grab everything from, the output folder. OK, now this is where I'm going to do a little bit of demo magic because we're running short on time. And I'm going to switch to a pre-created custom control. It's not going to be anything as fancy as what Hemant showed you, but it is also a map. So here is where we get to start up our local control harness. And again, we do that using npm.
One thing I would like to call out is that the control Peter created with the command line, it has the entire structure required method. So if you just say div hello world, you can mount it up into the system. So it's like entire structure is already provided and working. So now what Peter is showing is like, how to enhance that. But as the step one, you got something which works end to end.
Thank you, Hemant. So here is the map control. Before this demo, I tried to find the correct latitude, longitude values for our map, which we'll try here by entering mock inputs. And again, this is not pulling from server. It is completely coming from my inputs right here on the screen. So we'll try 7. And I believe Seattle is -122.3. Nope, that lands us somewhere in the mountains. But you get the gist of it. You can actually use your right-hand side to test with mock inputs. At the bottom on the right-hand side, you'll see that there's an output section. For this particular control, there are no outputs defined, so you won't see any here. And now that you have your custom component open in the browser, as I mentioned before, you can now press F12 and leverage the native debug capabilities of your browser by going in, finding your source code, setting breakpoints just as you would in any other web application. Okay, so let's assume now that we are done debugging, testing our control. Everything looks exactly as we want it. The next step is to package it. How do we do that? So at this point, we're going to go back to our CLI again, and we're going to pretend like we've never used it before. So we're going to say PowerApps CLI, tell me what to do. And it says, look, there's a new type of project called solution. So we're going to ask it what to do next. And it says, OK, I need you to initialize it. So let's initialize it. And again, a couple of parameters required. So we will do that. We will tell it that the publisher is, publisher name is me. And that the customization prefix is my prefix. Now, these particular inputs will vary depending on your environment, PowerApps, but for the purposes of the demo, we're going to just provide any value. OK, so just to prove that there's no sleight of hand, we went ahead and created a project here. Now, what's the next step? Now that we have a project in place, this project needs to know where does my custom component reside. And what do? We tell it how to reference our custom component. We do that by saying add reference. And we'll say path. We'll specify the path. And the path is PCF demo. And there you go. Now it knows exactly where our custom component resides. Again, it knows how to do all this automatically. Next step is to build our custom component solution zip file. But before we do that, there's similarly to how you pull down dependencies from NPM, we also pull down dependencies from NuGet here. So what we're going to do is say msbuild/t-restore, which is going to take a couple seconds to pull down dependencies from NuGet, as quick as that. And now we can go ahead and build this project. And this is a one-time effort. Of course, for the purposes of the demo, I'm showing this to you, but once you've done it the first time, you won't need to do it again. OK? So there you go. We've officially created our solution zip file, which now you can grab from your debug folder right here. And using the web UI, you can import it into your environment. OK, so now, since I do have just a couple more minutes remaining before Q&A, as promised, I can also show you the UI. Now, if you're like myself, you probably prefer the UI. And this is something that is currently in development, and this is just a sneak peek of. Using Visual Studio 2019, the latest version, what you can now do is say PowerApps. And as you can see, there are two types of project available, just like in the CLI. Let's say we want to create a custom component project, just like we did using the CLI. But this time, we have a nice UI provided within Visual Studio. So we're just going to take some default values here. Again, say we want to create a field control. And there it is. Look at that. We have a brand new custom component on the right-hand side, again, in the correct structure, project structure, that Visual Studio knows exactly what to do with. I see thumbs up. Fantastic. OK, now to make things even more easy, we're going to go and add yet another project here. And now we're going to, I'm sure all of you can guess what we're going to do next. We're going to add a solution project. We're going to, again, take some default values here. And now we have a solution project. Now, again, I did this in a fraction of a time without any typing, right? And the last step remaining is for me to go and add a reference, just like you would within any other Visual Studio project. So here, as you can see, the project that I just created using Visual Studio is right here and available. I can add it as a reference, and it performs the same actions as the CLI did. OK, any questions?
That was cool, yeah. Cool. Yeah, right on time. So we have 10 minutes if there are any questions. One thing I would like to call out is that we have a blog published for preview. We have a public-facing forum now. I know this is a pro dev experience. A lot of time, people struggle to kind of get the things right. All of our teams are like continuously monitoring those forums. We are helping people, debug their controls, sometimes even build it for them. So make sure that you sign up for the preview and use that forum and all the information which is available there. Yeah, on to questions.
Yeah, please note that the link for the documentation is available right there in the Q&A slide. So for any folks that are taking off, take note of that link.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the question was that can a custom component have access to camera or hardware? Answer is yes, because if you look at the timeline control, we have picture taking capability there, barcode scanner, all of these are custom controls. So there is a section in the PCF API set which says device, which gives you access to camera, geolocation, device voice capabilities. So as we add them and we need them in app, everything is exposed through PCF. So answer is yes, you can do it today. And business card scanner, which is going to come out, will be the one where, and if you want, I can share the code with you on how to easily do that. By the way, with preview, we have published around 14 samples, which tell you different areas and capabilities. These are full-blown controls, which can be immediately mounted and tested. So that way, you have something to reference and get started quickly. Yes, please.
Yes. Could you clarify a little bit about these controls in Flow? Like where do they show up? They show up in the Flow UI or what exactly? I mean, how would you use a control in a flow or in a business process flow or something?
So business process header, which comes on the form today on the model app, we released a preview for that, I think 3 weeks ago. You can put it in there. Right now, we don't have editor support, but there is a way to do it through the XML manipulation for now. That's supported. Flow, on the other hand, is a service which is running outside the core PowerApps stack, as in from UI stack standpoint. So we don't have anything there yet, but as we see the scenario, something we can evaluate.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi. So you mentioned earlier the situation where you might have multiple versions of jQuery, just as an example. Can you clarify that a little bit more? So is it the current case where if I had multiple components in one solution and they had different dependencies, is that something we have to worry about in this initial release, or where does that go?
I think that's a very good question. So how we do it today is that we utilize semantic versioning for the libraries. That means whenever you are adding a reference to the control in your project, you declare what library are you using and what version you are using. And not just that, you also declare what version your control is compatible with. For example, if you use, let's say, Vue version, 3, and package version 3, and say, I support version 3 and 4, and that's the solution which is in the system. Somebody else bring in their own control with Vue version 4, because your control is already there in the system, and it said, I am compatible with 4, we will allow the import, and at runtime, we will only serve version 4. But if I come in with version 5, we block the import. So today, we have a hard restriction to maintain the sanity of the system. We block the import, but we don't want to do that. So that problem today with the preview, we are solving using the bundling, where we isolate the libs and make sure they don't collide. Going forward, we will have more stronger semantics on how these bundled library or shared libraries can be shared across controls. So one thing which is of utmost importance for us is that system shouldn't go into the bad state, because it brings down the entire UI. So that's like first block we have, and we are incrementally opening it up as we feel more comfortable with making sure that the library upgrades or versioning or sharing story is intact. So we have a system in place today where it's not a foolproof one. So that's why for now bundling is the recommended approach, and soon we'll have a way to share the libraries in a way where they don't conflict.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Yes, please. Sorry, I didn't get the question. Sure.
Okay, I think the idea with the use of the tooling is that you no longer need to export your solution, and you can actually start managing everything using source code because it's so quick and easy for you to generate a new solution every time. You can just recreate a new solution.
So can you take a component from one solution inside the Power App and add it to another solution?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, and again, I think my previous answer stands somewhat. The idea is that we'd like you to bring it into your source code and then add it into your newly generated solution and manage it that way. I hope that answers your question.
Technically, that's possible. With tooling, you cannot do it today, but you need to have the control source present for control to be added to the solution. But as I said, components or all the solution artifacts are part of the standard solution packaging. So if you pull that control folder out and add it to your solution reference, you can do that. But the workflow we are optimizing or CLI is more geared towards is a dev workflow where you have a source of control and you can add it to the solution. So if you have it in your structure, you can definitely add it. Extracting from solution and putting into a second one, definitely you can do it. Not something we optimize for now. Yes, please.
Is the plan, maybe it works this way, I don't know. Is it the plan to have the ability to create these custom components to be able to make them work with PowerApps and Power BI?
More what? Sorry.
Make one component, I don't care if I have to import it in 5 solutions, but the same approach, the same refresh, the same connection, be able to take that custom component, provide it into something that we do custom in Power BI as well as have it in PowerApps, or is it only for PowerApps?
So right now it's for model apps. We'll very soon add it for Canvas app. Power BI, however, has a different model of extensibility. They use Power BI custom visual, something we are actively looking into. I think the first goal from us is to kind of make sure that Power BI visual, there is a way to make it as a custom component and light it up in Power Apps. Once we understand those bindings and we put in effort towards that, I think that's something which will be in future, not something we are evaluating actively, but not something we have started executing on.
So more likely, you're saying that if I create a custom component for Power BI, that will be able to render it in Power App. That's what you guys are doing. The reason I'm asking for mine is that we have very special components, and there are a variety of third-party developers who have already been creating them for Power BI, and it's extremely valuable. But if I'm creating this, that's fine, but I'm going to need it in Power BI and Power Apps.
I think since the entire Power BI custom visualizations is just a JavaScript zip file using D3 libraries, you can write a layer to translate that. You can bring in your existing IP from there to put it into this structure. We want to make it more seamless, and there should be a way to just put it in there. We are investigating, but not, I would say, next 6 months time frame. But that doesn't stop you from trying that right now. I have looked into, myself, I have evaluated those pieces because Power BI custom visual, I think it's right now in preview on Excel. So if Excel can do it in a standalone environment without Power BI backing it up, something you can definitely pull and put. So if you unzip and look at it, I think if your developers spend a little bit of time on component framework, it'll be way faster. Just put it there and get it done and mount it. So, and then just ping me or connect with me, and I can follow up offline on what's the best way to put the optimized experience there. But that shouldn't block you. I think in order to kind of make things available, you can start investment now. Everything is available now. You just need to put D3 and your custom visual in there. Only special piece you'll need to cater here, and we have samples for that, is how to bind those custom visuals to data set, right? How the data is served. That's the only difference, fundamentally in the stack. So sure, we should connect, and I'm super keen on this project, and let's see, what we can do together. One more question, and then we'll take questions offline.
Can you make a control that's not bound to field or data set? say just want to have a visual something, put it on a form?
So the question is, can you build a component which is not bound to field or dataset and just a standalone component? So if you remember in my first slide, I had unbound control. Right now, we don't have editing experience for adding such control. From framework perspective, everything is in there. So yes, framework has its capability we are going to expose, in the near future. But that missing editing experience, all what's needed is like create a dummy field so that you can put in your UI there. If you bind unbound control to a field and don't use those values, at runtime it's like acting like a unbound control. But that's like sort of a workaround. Definitely something on our radar as we build the new designer experience. If you guys have seen the new maker, the new form designer, we are also trying to bring controls more front and center, as opposed to going on the field and fourth tab control, add control, which is like hard to discover and things like that. So it'll be part of the core form flow. So as we add capabilities there, definitely it's there in the runtime. Designers just need to catch up and make it available. By the way, we have like quite a bit unbound controls in the system out of box. So it's just that you have to go into that XML. If you read a form XML today, you will find it how to do it. Not preferable because if you don't have editing, working with XML, not a great idea. So. Cool.
At this point, I think we have to call it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're getting our red light here blinking frantically.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. And please take the session evaluation. Let us know if there is any feedback, any questions, comments. We are happy to help.
Thank you.
Thanks.